Yes, sir. It's the New Movement Live. DJ Drewski. I'm here. Brutini in the building. Dripped up. He had to throw the shades on. What design? Those are Louis?
Of course, 1.1 million mans to be exact.
The
Virgil
Louis
joints.
shades with the so that piece was from the project you dropped, right?
Yeah.
How do you, cause I think I'll be saying it wrong. Is drippamphetamine?
Drippamphetamine.
Drippamphetamine.
But here's an easier way to say it. Drip is phetamine.
Ah, got you. So there's like a little flip to it, Brutini.
And that's how we came with the title of the project.
Well, but when did it like hit? When did it like that name stick? Cause that's a long title for a project.
We was literally at Buck Studio, and we just outside on the break, on the instance break, and me and Copper was just chopping it up. Cause I kept saying drip is phetamine, like drip is phetamine, drip is phetamine. I drip so hard, drip is phetamine.
Got
And
you.
we just kept playing with it. And he was like, "Yo, bro, say it like this. Say it like this."
Mm-hmm.
And we just kept saying drip amphetamine. And that same session I went and recorded that vibe, drip amphetamine, the song title itself. And it just kept sticking, like drip amphetamine. And we like, yo, bro, you want some.
Cause even when you see it, it stands out too. You like, oh word, that's the name of the title. It's like a strong title.
It gotta be strong so people can actually pay attention and wanna be interested. If it's not, like, to me, like cover art, if it's cover art, it's not interesting, I'm not gonna even listen.
Right.
Especially when you got geniuses like Kanye, his cover art be crazy.
Cause I feel like you come from an artistic type of background too when it comes to fashion and art. So even when you bring it into your music, it feels like there's some sense of that in the music too. Even down to the cover. You know what I'm saying? The cover art.
For sure. Everything for me is fashion influence first.
Mm-hmm.
And of course with fashion, music comes along with it. So it's like creating the background music for the department store.
Right.
So if I go inside LV, I want to hear a vibe. So I'm gonna go into a particular vibe.
Right. Now you said it was low key inspired by like Cash Money, Master P times, cause that's what it looks like. The
artwork
Right.
definitely inspired by Master P for sure. Cause that bold double layer font.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my intention is to make the project go platinum. So you got to speak into existence. So that's
Right,
why I
right.
did it in that context. You know?
Put that type of energy out there.
Factual. And it's crazy because when I was looking at, like, nobody really did this type of font up until when it's time for me to release 21 Savage, ended up doing a similar vibe.
Right.
It's crazy because the skits I got is even similar to like what he did with the Morgan Freeman skits, and I was like, yo, that's fire.
So you ain't say, oh, he's jacking me. You actually credited him.
Oh nah, because understanding how the music process works now, we live in a frequency where we think the same thing sometimes, especially if we go to the same stores and we
Right.
do the same
Around
things.
the same.
So
yeah.
it's easy to speak about something, and when you finally get a moment to think to self, and you like, oh, this is a skit I could put on a project.
Right.
It's we live in the same universe, so it's not hard.
What a lot of artists are not doing that you did is put like 28 records on the project, right?
Factual.
That's something that they not really. You might get an EP with 6, and then when an artist drops a project with 20 records, people are like, yo, that's too much music. So why 28 records on that project?
Well, truthfully, 28 songs. If you know if you really break it down, 28 songs. Each song is supposed to be like a gram. So
see.
It's like an instance type of vibe. Also inspired by Wiz.
Got it.
He did a project 28 grams, and you know that project stuck with me because he actually dropped it on my birthday, which is a Sunday. And people don't drop music on Sunday, so
right.
I felt like, oh, that's a project that stuck with me. It resonated. So I said, if I'm gonna give music and give a catalog, I gotta give a body of work. And that project made sense because there's more songs that didn't make the project, but to complete the idea of Drippamphetamine, I had to put 28 songs.
Got it. And speaking of grams, we might as well get into the new single, Bogota,
Colombia. Yes.
What's the background behind that? Because I feel now that I'm getting to know you, I feel like there's always something. There's always a story for what you do or what you put out.
Everything's a story.
Right.
It's a method to the madness. And Bogota, the crazy thing about that record, 2019, took a trip to Atlanta. I was supposed to go just for like Memorial Weekend, my birthday weekend or whatever. I ended up staying out there for like 2 months. But when I came back to New York, I flew to Atlanta and I took the bus back to New York on some real, like, I want to see the roads. I just want to feel the vibe.
Right.
And the minute I touched down Chinatown in New York, the vibe just felt different. The pace just like, whoa.
A whole different pace.
Whole different vibe. So, of course, what's on my mind, I go to the studio, New York minute, state of mind, got to get the money, got to grind, got to shine. And that's what I got from that record. And we just knocked it out. And basically, I use Deion Sanders as a cover because when he was getting drafted, New York asked him to take a written test. I freestyle. I don't write. So he said, by the time y'all pick me, I'm going to be gone. And that's really how I felt. So it's just the same. I didn't write it. I just freestyle off the top, straight off the bus. Like, went to the studio. I already had a session booked. Like, I already knew what I was doing. So that vibe just came, and it was just New York minute, state of mind. Like, got to get the money, got to grind.
Are all your records off top? Like
Everything is off top, and people tell me that's my problem because some of my music, I could be repetitive or I don't finish out certain melodies, especially my engineer. But
right.
He gets mad. But when we finally figure out the sound that I like, which is Bogota, we put it together in a way it's like, oh,
hey, yo, that's it right there.
Right, and that's crazy because that record is damn near 2 years old, but this is the season for it. Like,
right.
People asking for the record, people asking for the visual, and we gonna deliver.
Now let's talk about, because before Bogota you had Tie Your Laces, right? That was the single.
Nah, that was the first EP I did.
Oh, the title of it, the first EP. Plus, it was your Instagram name as well.
Right. See, usually what I would do, I like to create capsules for anything I do, such as projects, clothing, music. So I like to give it its own vibe. So I was trying to basically bring a vibe to it, but
So it was like there's Brutini, then everything you put out has its own world, basically.
Because if you're going to critique it, I want you to critique it in that element. So when I'm giving you the experience, you can say, oh, that's the Tie Your Laces experience.
Got it.
This is the DRIPPAMPHETAMINE experience. Okay, this is Brutini the person. I do things like that. That's how I'm able to organize and execute.
But that was like your main social media page at one point, right?
Right.
So you was working off of the Tie Your Laces, but you just told me, yo, I had to switch it up. I got a whole new social media following.
Because this wave is gonna be a different experience. So I don't want you to even tie anything new that I do to Tie Your Laces.
Got you. So for people that are just tuning in, what page should they follow? How do they keep in tune with what you got going on?
I am Brutini.
That's it right there.
That's it right there. Be prepared for what you're gonna see.
What should they be prepared for? Because you're saying that, so now we want to know
hit the
if they come to Brutini page, hit the follow button.
Hit the follow button and you will see.
Because it's staying on private until they follow. Now.
Not just that, it's like a private party, and what I'm doing, I'm going to personally engage with all my fans, and I'm going to give a special surprise in your DMs. I'm going to send you a link, and it's going to be a vibe, and you're going to understand what's going on. So it's invite only.
Damn. You got like a little method to your madness, Brutini. I see you putting the pieces together. That must mean your brain is like spinning all the time and thinking of new stuff. Because
like a slot machine. And sometimes my guys tell me I gotta slow down a little bit, but
right
in this lifetime, you only live once, so you gotta put all the energy you got into, especially what you believe in. So I'm a firm believer in how the universe works and manifesting. So I gotta work. I can't ask for something if my worth ethic is poor.
Right. Let's talk about your fashion sense and what you bring to the fashion game, because I don't know what came first. Was it fashion or music?
Fashion.
So fashion was first. Fashion designer. You consider yourself a fashion designer?
More like a stylist, a curator. So creative directors all in that umbrella. So a tastemaker. I know how to put certain things together, and because growing up, people would always ask me for like fashion advice. And I used to think to myself, like, what do I know? But I guess how I put things together, people like it. So,
yo, not everyone can rock, the LV shades and come through dripping.
It's like, regular, though.
He said that's regular. Do you style yourself when it comes to your music videos and events and stuff? Do you just do everything on your own?
Everything my own. I don't mind, like, the assistance I get from some of my personal shoppers.
Right, right.
Because they help me like put the piece together. But at the end of the day, I know what I want it to look like. So I put everything together. First, I get the sneaker. It gotta be the shoe.
It starts from the bottom up.
Of course, we from the bottom. Even if, like Dap said, even if we stay high, the feet to the floor. So that's grounded right there.
Do you have a favorite all-time sneaker or shoe that you rock with?
Yeah, and it was a shoe that I wasn't able to get when I was younger.
But you have them now.
Nah.
You still don't have them.
Unfortunately, Virgil didn't tap into that LV archive all the way and recreate the shoe. So
It was an LV shoe.
Yeah.
That as a kid you wanted, because as a kid I wasn't even thinking about like Louis Vuitton. Okay, high school. Okay, okay.
I was like, to be honest, the Jordans and the pennies and the phone posits, we left that for the court. Because I went to like private school, so
right.
It was a dress code, so everybody was their own.
So you had like uniform.
Right. So the only thing we could get away with was the shoes. So we just had to and some kids, however they had it, some kids had Maury's or whatever the case may be. Some had Pradas, and it's crazy how Prada resurfaced. That same style resurfacing now. So
Right.
It was those LV shoes. I got the good grades, but
you ain't get the shoes.
Mom wasn't doing that. 700 plus tax. She wasn't doing that. Cause the environment already.
Not at 12 years old or however you were, 13.
14.
Oh, same thing, Brutini. 14. I don't know
the Jordans,
if you deserve a $800 pair of sneakers yet, unless you're getting them on your own.
That was my aspirations, though. That's what I was attracted to. That's what I like.
Right.
I'm a person of quality. Like, everything has to be about quality for me.
So were you working at like 14, 15? Did you have like a little summer job or nothing? Did you have a job before you started making music?
The only job I ever had was that Adidas grand opening, and I only lasted like 2 months over there.
So you worked for the Adidas store?
Yeah, I just stood there and just
like a greeter, like when people walk in.
One of those, and get sizes, but I couldn't do it. And that was at like 22. That was my first job ever.
You couldn't do it because you ain't like people telling you what to do, or it just was too slow paced for your lifestyle?
All the above. Like people telling me what to do. When see, the thing is, if I'm gonna do a job, I'm gonna do it very well. And one complaint I was getting a lot, like, I would deal with the customers so well, they would try to tip me bread, and I'm like, yo, you can't do that.
Right. It ain't that type of.
But it's around the holidays, so tourists it's on Fifth Ave, so people
right.
And they kept telling me, nah, you dealing with the customers too nice, whatever, and I'm like, okay. So I realized they start cutting down my hours and hours. I'm like, hold on. We went from 8 hours, I'm doing my thing. Now y'all cut me down to 4. Now I'm not on a schedule.
Right.
I ain't showing up.
I'm out.
And to be honest, the only reason why I really did it was because I got a portfolio of sneaker designs. So I'm like, all right, let me see who I could tap in with here and try to get the headquarters.
Right.
And that went left. So that was the only job I ever had. And I didn't even last more than 3 months. So. And it's funny now, because the person that was my manager there now, she's the personal styler at LV. So it's like, she's like, oh, I remember you. And I'm like, wow.
You're like, yeah, matter of fact, go pick up them shades for me.
Nah, I still wouldn't talk to people like that. I don't do
You said
that.
you wouldn't?
Nah. Everything I ask politely, like, manners go a long way, bro.
Right. No, that's a fact. I agree. Even like the way we met, right? We telling people, like, we met in Atlanta All-Star Weekend.
Factual.
And you just was like, I'm going to go for it.
On some gorilla, but I still got to approach you a certain way so you
know
that. Because we live in a time today, like, people be on some nutso stuff. So you got to just, your surroundings, you got to understand what's going on. And I know of you, and it's just so funny because even DJ O, like, he's like, yo, you got to some way, somehow link Drewski. You link him as lit. And I'm like, all right, bro, let's see how it's going to happen. 2 weeks later, mind you, I wasn't supposed to even stay in Atlanta that long because I really originally went down for my, like, another event, but that had nothing to do with music.
Right.
And I just ended up lingering again. Like,
yeah, it's All-Star Weekend. You might as well stay.
And I linked the plug, so it was worth it.
And now we here. And then you went back to Atlanta, right, to shoot the video, or you shot it that weekend?
Nah, I went back.
You went back to shoot the video to what record?
Anonymous is going to drop.
The record is called Anonymous, or you just can't tell us?
Can't tell y'all yet. When y'all see it,
he won't tell us. The director won't show us nothing.
Look. I'm be honest. It's a movie, and it's not just one song. Because we caught so much footage. It's a movie. It's to the point like there's certain parts to even finish like the second part of it. We gotta come to New York because like growing up, I always enjoyed the videos such as the Lloyd Banks and the Lil Wayne where they got a long video, but they're giving you 2 songs.
Right.
So that's the vibe we doing. So if the people want the song, I can give y'all the first part of it.
Cause I seen you in the car with Shorty. The car had all the lights on it, the crazy movie lights and all that. But you can't tell us. What do the people need to do for you to drop something?
Follow, and tap in and just stream the music up. If I see the engagement with the music going crazy, I'ma just force the release.
That's a good way to look at it. Give it to them when they want it, when they asking for it.
If you don't want something, why would I deliver it?
But sometimes people don't know that you have it, so you gotta kind of like sample it. You know what I'm saying? Put it out there. Yo, look, if y'all want it, here's a little sample. We gonna have to figure it out, Brutini.
It's coming.
The new movement live, Brutini in the building. Video's coming. He's not telling us the name. He's not showing us no snippets of the video.
It's just crazy.
Bogota's out now. Is there a new project coming? Because you said there was a bunch of other records that didn't make the first one.
Nah, Drippamphetamine's out right now. I just recently released another joint, but Drippamphetamine's the main go-to right now. Honestly, I feel like that project is going. I'm gonna be pushing it for a while. Honestly,
right. It's 28 songs. There's enough songs on there to get busy.
Right, and that's why the visual gotta come so crazy. Cause I feel like if the visual comes and y'all like, oh, what song is that? And people gonna backtrack and go to Drippamphetamine. So I gotta deliver this movie crazy.
And the new Instagram name, tell them that so they can follow you.
I am Brutini, IAMBRUTINI.
And I just want you to introduce Bogota the proper way, the Brutini way, right now. Let's get to it.
Officially dropping, live, exclusive. DJ Drewski, we in the house.
Yes, sir.
Time Your Business. Bogota, shipping from Colombia. Flow So Sick is out now.
The new movement live. We out.